I don't want it to let me, to stop me, don't want to let it from, don't want to let it to stopping me do everything. I don't know if that made sense. Hey guys, so this feels so weird, like, because it's just me here today. Oh, it's weird just not having Jess here. But anyway, welcome back to our channel. Cam, go away. So welcome back to our channel. Today it's just me, but obviously we said we were gonna do some individual videos. I don't think I like this setup. It's not for me. Okay, so I've relocated because I didn't like that angle. The lighting wasn't great. So yeah, yes, I'm kneeling on the sofa. It's comfy for a while. Don't know if a lot of you know. If you're my close friends, you will know. And I think I've mentioned it in some videos, so I think some of you may have heard. But I have a condition called epilepsy. The condition in itself varies from person to person, and it's a very common thing. Some people have it very rarely. They'll have like 1 or 2 in their lifetime. Some people will have it every day and multiple times a day. When you first think of epilepsy, you think seizures. And yes, that is a main part of epilepsy. However, it also affects many more aspects of yourself. Today I wanted to do this video. Obviously me and Jess said we would do some separate videos. Today I sort of just wanted to do a video on epilepsy and my story of epilepsy. Jess is going to do one by herself sometime soon. I don't really know when that's going to be yet. We haven't really decided. The reason why I wanted to do mine is because as of this week, so at the moment it's Wednesday and Friday will be the 28th. On Friday, hopefully, by then I will be 1 year seizure free, which it doesn't sound like a big accomplishment when I say it, but if you've been with me through the whole journey and you know everything that happens, and I'll talk about that later, this is quite a big thing. Okay, so I'll mention a little bit about my story and how I have suffered with it. It's a little bit hot in here actually, so I'm just going to take my coat off. Okay, so I had my first seizure when I was, oh no, I can't count. I want to say about 13 or 14 maybe. I think it was like 2015. I was in like year 8 possibly, year 8, year 9, can't remember. And I was at school on the field. It was like, not like a sports day, but it was like something like that. I can't remember what it was called now. But so I was on the field playing hockey and it was quite early in the morning, and I just went straight down, had a seizure. I never had any sort of anything about that before, so obviously, like always happens, ambulance came, checked me out. I had it's like an EEG, but it's one that they do very like quickly when you're in the ambulance. Is it an ECG or something? I can't remember. And I had one of them whilst I was in the ambulance, and I got taken to the hospital. So it was the first one I ever had. Really suspect me as being epileptic or having epilepsy because, like I said, some people can just have one seizure their whole life and never have them again. So I wasn't put on any medication. I was referred to a specialist who consults in epilepsy, just for like a checkup sort of thing, but I was never diagnosed with anything. It was just sort of a one-off. So that, yeah, I think that was about 2015. So then it's hard for me to remember because it was like quite a while ago. I think 2018. So that's like about 3 years. I then had one in the February. So yeah, I hadn't had one for like 3 years, and I was working at, not where I work now, somewhere else, in the kitchen, and I fell straight down and hit my head straight on a sink and fell onto the floor. When I'm talking about these stories, I've got some photos, might be a little bit graphic for some people, but I will put them on the screen as I'm sort of talking about it. So just to be aware if you are a bit squeamish and things like that. They're not bad. I think there's only like one that's bad. I think I actually bled for this one, but I just had a very, very painful head, as you can probably imagine. And I think I may have like cut myself a little bit, just like a little cut on my side. I got taken to hospital and everyone was just a bit like, what's going on? Like, had one like 3 years ago, never had one, and now I've had another one. Was there any reason or anything for it? And I think one of the main things that is frustrating when talking about epilepsy is you don't know what causes it. There's many different causes, but everyone's is different, and every single one of my seizures could have been caused by something different. I mean, after you've had one, there's nothing they can really do. Again, you have the ECG given on the way there, and then that was it. One, like, exactly a week later, Saturday night, when I was working in the kitchen again, straight down on the floor, hit my head, and got taken to hospital. So pretty much the same story. At this point, they basically hurried up my appointment and was like, you know, I've had 3 seizures in total now. 2 have been really close together within like a week. Need to get looked at. So I got in to see my specialist, said that she was going to start me on some medication. So I take, my medication is called lamotrigine, and I take Lamictal. And I think then I started off with 50 twice a day. Oh, pardon me. She started me on that and I was fine. I went through my GCSEs in the May and June, and my last exam I think was on like the 15th of June. It was a Friday. It was the last exam, and I remember it was a physics exam, and I absolutely hated physics, and I was so happy to get out of the way. And that night, one of my friends was throwing a party, so it was something like, you know, an end of school sort of thing. I had been warned about drinking alcohol. I didn't go crazy with it. I drank a little bit of alcohol, but nothing that should have done any harm to anyone, really. So that was fine. I came back that night, got up in the morning and had a seizure. This one was one of my worst seizures. I fell off of my chair in my room, scraped my whole face down. I think it might have been this side, but I'll put a photo up here. Hit my head again, like always, fell onto my shoulders. So yeah, that was that one. And alongside that, I like bit all under here and had ulcers all under my lips. My lip was swollen, and it just hurts. And it's all the little things that you don't really think about. And to have to go out with your lip big and like having this all down your face is awful. I try and like ignore that I have it sometimes, but obviously when I go and do certain things, I have to tell people, and I have to remember that actually I do have it, and look where I've scratched myself. And I do need to take care of it. So that was in the June of 2018. And then I was really good up until New Year's Day 2019, so about 6 months, just under 6 months. And I hadn't even been out New Year's Eve. I'd been working first and was, you know, just sorting my room out a little bit, and I had one, and it's more upsetting than anything, because you go up in the medication. Oh yeah, after the June one, I went up a lot in my medication. But it's upsetting because you think, oh, like, you know, I'm going up with the tablets, I think I've got somewhere, and then you have another one, and it's, what do I do now? Mine aren't actually that bad compared to some people, so I totally appreciate that. Anyway, so I had one on the 1st. The difference with this one is I felt it coming. I had a warning. It wasn't a big warning. It was maybe 10-second warning that I was going to have one. So yeah, so then I went up in the tablet, work one night, and it was the 28th of February, so oh, that'll be 2 days from when I'm filming this, that'll be a year. I went to work and it was a very busy shift. I hadn't eaten, I think it was like 8:30, and I hadn't eaten since like 1 o'clock, which don't do, just don't do it. And yeah, I went to work, it was a very busy shift, and I got very stressed. Fell in the kitchen. It's always in the kitchen, always in the kitchen. This one, I would not even call it, because it was a quick, on the floor, didn't go unconscious, stayed conscious. Instead of lying there for ages and feeling sick and having a headache, it was straight back up, and I felt starving, hungry, and it was a very different sort of seizure. But obviously, because I hit my head again, an ambulance had to be called just to check me out. Upsets me a lot with it is the driving. So in the UK, you have to be 1 year seizure free to be able to start lessons if you haven't started, or to be able to reapply for your license. 17, and I've never been able to learn how to drive. It's very frustrating, and it's upsetting when you see all of your friends going around driving, being able to do their test, having the freedom that you want to have, that I don't want to be dependent on people for. I want to be able to do it myself. So I've got 2 days to go, hopefully, and I've applied for my provisional. I applied for it in January, because you can apply for it 8 weeks ahead. Still not here yet, but it's fine, we're not even going to talk about that. I have booked an intense course for April. The other impacts that it can have on someone's life is lights. A lot of people have seizures because of lights. I don't know if I do. I've had MRI scans and I've had the EEGs where they stick all the electrodes on your head to look at your brain, and I've had like lights flashed in my eyes. I don't know if it is that. They found that I'm photosensitive to lights, so it could possibly, but there's never really been a scenario where I've been in somewhere with lights and had one. But because of the fact that I have epilepsy, I sort of avoid places with lights. Colourful lights aren't actually too bad. It's more the strobes and flashing white light. Oh, my knee hurts. Another thing is stress. I am, in general, a very stressy person. A big factor of epilepsy, and if I'm honest, that could be a reason why I have it. Another major one, there are lots of different reasons. I'm not going to go through all of them. Another one could be to avoid coffee and drinks with caffeine in it, because of the energy burst that it gives you to your brain can affect you having one. I don't feel like that's ever really affected me. Another one that I think with me especially is tiredness. If you're tired, you're much more liable to having a seizure. That is why I always try and get some sleep, especially if I know I'm working a long shift or if I've got a long day at college. I think that's pretty much my story and some things that could cause it. I just think to anyone who does have it, don't let it stop you from doing anything. I'm going to a festival this year. I am a little bit scared for it because it's going to have alcohol, lights, tiredness, and it's a mix of everything that, you know, could cause it. But I don't want it to stop me. Don't want to let it stopping me do everything. I don't know if that made sense. And I'm thankful that I don't have them every day, and that I only have them now and then. Obviously some people aren't that lucky. Have seizures that aren't epileptic, especially stress seizures. they call them sort of PTSD seizures. So like I said, this is my individual video about my story. If you'd like to ask me any questions about it, or you'd like to know anything more, comment down below. You can also message me on my Instagram, which will be down below as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you together again in our next video. Thank you.